Hi everybody, it's Christopher and welcome to Life's Not Over, It Just Looks Different on YouTube. In today's video, I thought I'd have a little more fun with stories about sight loss and some of the experiences that I've had, because I'm a guy who likes to find the fun in everything I do, and I do a lot of presentations out in the community talking about sight loss, where I like to be able to put sort of a lighter spin on a lot of the stories that I tell. One of the things that happens to me quite a bit is people tell me that I don't look blind. Okay, fair. I'm not really sure what a blind person is supposed to look like, but I appreciate the compliment. But I think one of my favorites from about a decade ago, when I was in a previous job, I was working in an inbound call center for one of Canada's big banks, and happened to be talking to a client on the phone who, when I told him that I was vision impaired, through the course of our conversation, he said, "Really?" He said, "You don't sound blind." I still don't know what that means. One of the other places that I have a lot of fun with my sight loss is in my job, working for CNIB, because whether I'm talking to clients in our building or whether I am out in the community talking about sight loss and living with sight loss, there's always somewhere to find the fun in it. I remember one day I was in our little shop and I was talking to an older lady who apparently had a bit of hearing loss. I discovered because we were having a conversation, and I ended one of my sentences by saying, "That's what happens when you're vision impaired." And the lady looked at me a little bit confused, and she said, "You're sad because you have no hair?" And I said, "Oh, well, that ship has sailed." So I love people. I love their reactions. It's fun. When I am out in the community doing presentations, I have a lot of fun with that too, because whether I'm talking to groups of seniors, whether I'm talking to elementary school kids, I just never know what kind of questions I'm going to get. I think probably my favorite are the young kids, because they ask whatever's on their mind, and we have good fun with that. One day I was talking to a group of elementary school kids, and one of them asked me about what I thought life would be like if you lost your hearing and your sight. And I said, well, I do know some people who are what we call deafblind, and I said they have to learn things in different ways, they have to experience things in different ways, but I know some of them that have amazing lives, and they travel and they do all kinds of things. Another boy in the class put up his hand and he said, "What do you think it would be like if you lost all 5 senses?" And I thought about that for just a second, and I said, well, I think if you lost all 5 senses, you'd have a really tough existence. One of his classmates who was sitting beside him kind of nudged him with an elbow and said, "I think you'd be dead." And I couldn't leave that alone. I said, well, yeah, if you're dead, you're going to have a really tough existence for sure. So this is why I love talking to kids. When I was talking to another group of grade 1 kids, grade 1 kids are great because they tend to be learning about the 5 senses. And talking to this group, one little girl puts up her hand, and she says, well, how do you match up your clothes? And I said, well, I tend to wear a lot of black pants, so it's pretty easy to match up whatever kind of shirt I want to put with them. But in a previous job, when I was wearing suits and ties, I used to take like 3 triangle buttons, and I would put 1 triangle on the tie, 1 triangle on the shirt, and 1 triangle on the suit, and that's how I knew that those 3 things went together. And the kids took that answer. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. But then another little girl put up her hand and she said, "But how do you get dressed?" I thought about that for a second, and I said, well, I get dressed just like you do. I go into my drawer and I pull out a pair of socks, and I put 1 sock on one foot and I put the other sock on the other foot, and I put all my other clothes on just like you do. And she said, oh, okay. I mean, she obviously had a need to know. So I just answered the question, because talking to kids is, it's fun. I love it. I just never know what they're going to ask me, and That's why I love what I do. And it just makes it fun, and it gives me all these stories that I can, keep in my memory banks and share whenever I need them, like right now. But I can also just enjoy them for the fun moments that they were in life, and collect these things as some of the things that make living with sight loss that much easier. That was everything I wanted to share today, just a few funny moments on living with sight loss. I thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who's been watching these videos, and I hope you have a wonderful day.